right, we're going to talk about U.S. men's national team. It is now an international break. No more domestic soccer for the next 2 weeks. We've got the U.S. men's national team to focus on here in the USA. They got a couple of games coming up. They got the roster. Brooks is really excited to talk about the roster, so let's bring that up. Yeah. Brooks, before we get to the roster real quick, tell us about the games. So we're playing, who are we playing? What's going on here, buddy?
Yeah, so the two teams are playing this international break are Ecuador and Australia. So Ecuador is going to be the first match. That's October 10th at 8:30 p.m. That's going to be in Austin. So, I mean, we'll see. I don't know if Ecuador's still in qualifying. I can't remember if they got bounced or not, or if they're. But it'll be a good friendly. There's always some. We've always played them in a friendly, and they have a good battle. Yep. And Australia. I mean, usually Australia is always in there with Japan and whatnot qualifying on that Pacific. The league out there qualifying. So.
All right, so some good games, we'll call that, right? I like the fact that we're playing Australia. I like the fact that we're playing Ecuador, a little bit of some different flavors there, getting us ready for the World Cup. But the main thing is they're putting these games together so they can look at some of these players. So on the roster that we have here for the October camp, I mean, the goalkeepers, Matt Freese, Chris Brady, Patrick Schulte, Matt Turner, nothing out of the ordinary there. That's kind of who we expect, and the World Cup is going to consist of. Is it going to be 3 of those guys, most likely?
I think it'll be 3.
Who do you think is going to change, or if you had to pick now, who misses out?
I think those are the 4 he's probably mainly looking at. I mean, I don't know if Zach Steffen somehow plays himself back into this. I don't think Celentano or Klinsmann will be in this. I think they got called in, and I don't think they're going to play. I think it's these 4, honestly.
Yep.
I think you're looking at Freese and Turner for the starting position, and whoever loses the battle is the number 2.
Yep.
And then you're probably looking at Brady and Schulte between the 2 guys. If they I mean, usually teams take 3 goalkeepers. Yep. Usually they don't take 2; it's 3.
Right.
So you're looking. I think those guys are battling for the 3rd spot, and both have done well in club. Schulte has delivered, when he's played in friendlies. Brady has yet to play, but he's done very well for Chicago. The Chicago Fire are finally in the playoffs since, I think it's 2017. That's the last time they made the playoffs.
Yeah, congratulations to them.
Yeah.
Former U.S. men's national team head coach.
Yeah, Berhalter did well, yeah.
Berhalter getting Chicago back at his first try, right?
Yes.
First year, getting them back into the playoffs with a team that, not the greatest team in the world, so did something there.
Correct. And I think, in my opinion, Brady plays for a lesser team than Schulte does in Columbus. So, I mean, it's going to be based on how training goes. I don't think they're going to get matches. I'm curious to see if Freese and Turner split 1-1. Now that Turner's back with New England and the starter there, so it'll be interesting to see. Maybe Brady and Schulte play more during the January camp when the international guys don't come in. I mean, I'm sure that's probably a look to see who's going to be my 3rd string goalkeeper. But I think those are the 4 you're looking at that are going to in competition.
All right, as you can see, the defenders he's brought in this camp: Alex Freeman, Tim Ream, Anthony Robinson, Chris Richards, who's having a heck of a year, by the way, for Crystal Palace, Mark McKenzie, Miles Robinson, Max Arfston, Cameron Carter-Vickers. Mm-hmm. What do you like about those? Who's missing? What's your thoughts on the defenders you brought in?
Oh, I don't mind it. I'm not a Mark McKenzie fan. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I like Richards. I like Robinson. Everyone is poo-pooing Tim Ream. Listen, he can still pass the ball and play well. If he's the 4th center back and you need him for a certain game, to play, if he's not going to be the starter, I definitely think Richards is a starter. Who's going to start next to him? That's the question. I'm not a big McKenzie fan. Let's see what Carter Vickers does. He starts for Celtic. Celtic are second at the table in Scottish Premier League, so that is a good one. Arfston's probably the backup to Anthony Robinson, if we really want to look at that. So, is he the number 2? Joe Scally's not in here. So that tells me that it's Freeman and Dest, which I think are the 2 better ones. I know Scally starts for Gladbach and everything, but when he's played with the national team, I just think he lacks a lot going forward.
I thought he played well in the last camp, the last international break. I thought he did well.
Yeah, he was okay.
I'm surprised he didn't get a call in.
He played in, was it Gold Cup he played in? No. It was before. Was it right before the Gold Cup when they had those matches? Didn't he start in one of the matches? I think he was called in. I forget. But I don't know. I tend to like Freeman. I think he's just does a better job. He's just better at changing direction, and he's not as stiff. Then I think he's just better. I mean, I've always seen Scally as a third center back in a back three, for me, in my opinion. But I think Freeman's worked his way in, and that would be a good one with Dest. Miles Robinson's an interesting one because he's had U.S. men's national team experience. He's played in big games. So we'll see if he works his way back in. But I like the lineup. I like the defenders. It's a good group.
All right. Let's move on to the midfielders here, my friend. Brendan Aronson, Weston McKennie, Tanner Tessman, Jamie Sands, Malik Tillman, Diego Luna, Christian Roldan, and Aiden Morris. I love the fact that Aiden Morris is back in here. I like the fact that Jamie Sands has come in.
Yep.
Obviously, Diego Luna, we all agree he is going to be on the bus to World Cup 2026. Depends how many minutes and starts he gets there, but I think he's already earned his way in. But I don't mind this. I think this is a good little midfield squad, and I like the fact that Sands and Aiden Morris are in.
Yeah, I like those two. I think Tanner Tessman, he's played well for Lyon. He scored a really good goal for them in European competition the last week. I just don't know if Tanner Tessman is mobile enough at the international level to play in those big games. I think he's a good technical player. When I've scouted him live before, I always thought maybe he'd eventually move back into a center back role because he's really good on the ball and he can move pretty well as a center back, but I just don't know if he's shifty enough in high-level international games to be a midfielder and make quick decisions. So I like the James Sands. He's played well for St. Pauli. I mean, I'm sure the coaches must be raving about him because, as Nate said, he was injured. He jumps right back into the starting lineup. That's pretty big.
Yep.
I do like Roldan as a bottom end of the guy that makes the squad. And, he's had experience. He's been in big games, the national team. He's played a lot in MLS. I know he's an MLS player, but he's got a lot to the game he brings. I thought he did actually well in the past couple games he played in the last break. So, and then Aiden Morris. I mean, I think this midfield group is super wide open. I think Aiden can work his way in. I don't think it's a given all these guys are starters. Like, I don't think it's a given Weston McKennie is going to start next to Tyler Adams. Could it be Aiden Morris? For sure. Could it be James Sands? For sure. I think Pochettino's like bringing on midfield. This is an open competition. Aronson's an interesting one because he can kind of play as a tucked-in winger. He can play wide a little bit. So he's got some options to play him in the starting 11. But I think this is wide open. And same with Tillman. He can kind of play in as a tucked-in winger, as a 10. You can move him in different spots. But it's a good midfield lineup.
All right, moving on to the forwards, Christian Pulisic, who's having one hell of a year over there at AC Milan. Yep. The guy is scoring goals, setting them up. He is absolutely killing the Serie A right now. So obviously he's going to be there. There's Patrick Agyemang, Tim Weah, Haji Wright, Alex Zendejas, and Florian Balogun. What do you like about that? What don't you like about that? Anybody missing you are hoping to see in that group of forwards?
Well, Patrick Agyemang finally scored for Derby County, and he scored a goal with his head. So that's a good sign right there, because a big guy like that should score with his head more often, which I don't think he was doing enough at Charlotte. So that's encouraging. So, I mean, is it Pulisic in, if he plays 3-5-2, is it Agyemang and Pulisic's the guy underneath that plays as a second forward? That's an interesting lineup right there.
Right.
Where do you play Weah? Is it a 3-4-3 where it's Pulisic wide, Weah wide, and Agyemang at the points? Or Pulisic and Weah underneath? Like Man United plays a 3-4-2-1. Mm-hmm. There's a lot, and Zendejas brings a different style because he's very technical. He's not maybe the fastest guy, but makes very quick decisions, and he's played well for Club America. He's played a lot of minutes for him. And then Balogun, he needs to get on the score sheet and score. So, this is a moment for Agyemang, Haji Wright, and Balogun to say, hey, like, I'm the number one, because Pepe's not there. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Sargent's not there either. Yep.
Sargent's not there. It's an interesting group. You can mix and match and do a lot of different things. I hope this time, I think he will come out with the 3-back. It seems to be set up that way because you got Ream, you got Richards, you got McKenzie who can play, and Vickers, so that's 4 center backs. And then I think Arpston and Robinson and those guys are much better anyways in a 3-back system as wing backs. I like them as wing backs. I only have 1 right back, so I'm curious to see who they would try to play as the other one, because they have 2 left footers here. And then the rest are center backs there. I don't think Miles is an outside back, to be honest with you. So I'm interested to see how they play. But I like the group. It's a strong group. There's potentially could a lot of them go to the World Cup for sure.
Yep.
But Pochettino's opening it up, and international guys come and compete, impress me.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Impress me and see if you can get into the squad for 2026, guys.
These should be 2 games. I think this window are on their minds. These are 2 wins.
Should be. Absolutely.
That's how it should be going into this. This is we dominate with possession. We play well. We win 2-1. You know, if we're down, we come back and win. It's time now for everything forward. Is we give 110% and we're out to win every friendly.
Brooks, I'm happy you said that, because the last couple of games where we said, okay, we expect to win against South Korea, we expect to win against Japan, but it's more about seeing what we can do and maybe a formation. And the fact that we didn't win against South Korea, we looked like crap against South Korea, by the way. Looked good against Japan, but as we said, it was Japan's B team, some of their C team. So what are we going to take? I like the fact that you said these games against Ecuador and Australia, we now need to win. We've got a good group. You know how we want to play. Let's go out there and impress me, and let's win these games. 2 very winnable games.
Yep. And just to go for the next window in November, which is just right before Thanksgiving, you're going to play Paraguay on the 15th of November, and you're going to play Uruguay. Again, it's from here. I mean, they're scheduling some tough.
Those are tough games. Paraguay and Uruguay, tough games. These ones are winnable for sure.
Yeah.
Those ones really tough.
Yeah, you want results in both though, draws or you know, you win 2-1 or something. But the matches besides probably January, which is never strong, unfortunately, that break you're always going to play like a mid to lower
Trinidad and Tobago and
or someone or you get a Croatia or Bosnia Herzegovina, or something. But this one and then the January one's going to be but the one in March or the 1 or 2 more you have in the spring, early winter, that's the important one where you need to get results and look like you're doing well.
Agreed.